Ding, what's going on, my man? We got some exciting news. The Power Awards, and we're making it happen. March 11th, the first anniversary of Power Slap #1. Who else will be doing it? Slap News is bringing it to you, my man. How jacked are you for this? What an incredible year it has been.
Yeah, man. Listen, I know when you, myself, Jeeves, Rayway, we sat down and we talked about kind of what our vision was for this experience and how we wanted to be able to commemorate the last year of not only action, but we saw a lot of stars rise. We saw some stocks change. We saw some veterans get in there and prove themselves. We saw some veterans get in there and show that, there's a new wave of strikers coming into the game. Couldn't be more excited, man. Really excited to be able to commemorate this entire endeavor and the growth of this sport over the last 365 days. And I honestly, I don't think if anybody else was to do it, I don't think that they would do it quite as professionally and as strategically as we are. So this is an incredible opportunity. It's an honor for us. I couldn't be more excited, man.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. It's been a year. Being in the trenches, honestly, it feels like it's been 5 years, but I mean, it's been a short period of time. We've had 6 live events up until this point, but I'm going to recap for you guys a little bit. The 4 of us collectively have been doing this. We've put out 337 long form videos to YouTube since we've started this. We have amassed over 7,000 hours of watch time on YouTube. We've got over 5 million impressions on Instagram. We're not the official Power Slap. We're not getting millions of views on our videos, but these numbers are massively substantial. Outside of Power Slap Official, there's nobody that is putting out more content than we are on a regular basis, getting down and dirty, interviewing the athletes. This thing has continued to grow. Sometimes, we scratch our head and we're like, man, we wish we can get more views on our videos. But as we keep on going here, every single video keeps on growing. The momentum continues to rise. The last, honestly, 90 days, we've been on fire. We've literally seen 3x the views on our videos across the board. Road to the Title #2 was a spark that really propelled this forward. And you could see the momentum going into Power Slap #6. Power Slap #6 had approximately 2 million unique visitors to the platform during the actual duration of it itself. Put that into context. As Dana White said in the post-fight press conference, a UFC fight night typically gets between 600,000 to 1 million views within that same time frame. So Power Slap was able to get double that of a UFC fight night, which one took place the following night. So I think it's great to see the growth of this sport. We've seen the paychecks of the athletes also grow accordingly with that. From the athletes that we've spoken to, we've seen the social media accounts of the athletes that compete in these events continue to grow when they get incredible knockouts, when they have those chins of steel. I mean, dang, let's go through some of the categories that we're going to have. We're super excited. This is a show that's going to be able to incorporate a ton of strikers into it. And I mean, I'm jacked up as you can see. So, it's going to be an Oscar style event. We're going to roll out the red carpet. We're going to get the suit and tie on. But let's talk a little bit about the different categories. Won't give away too much. We'll talk about voting and how that's going to take place and all the rules and stuff around that.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things that we focused on when we sort of formulated how this event was going to go was that we wanted to make sure that we were engaging the fan base and so that there was this real integrity-based sort of profile surrounding how we were going to choose who was selected as the winner of each of these categories. And we've got everything from, knockout of the year to things like fighter of the year. And so I think that the goal is really for us to be able to say definitively that the fans chose, this striker or that striker to be at the forefront and represent this particular category group, which I think for the fighters is pretty incredible, especially given that it's ultimately this is what they do it for, right? They go up there and they do it for the fans, some of which we happen to be. But generally speaking, the people who are watching these things, tuning into Rumble, the people who are paying for these VIP packages at the Durango, and who will go to these Power Slap events in the future, and the people who are engaging with these strikers on their social media platforms day in and day out, we want to hear exactly what it is that you think. And I'm excited because I know, and we know based on the engagement that we've gotten on a number of different sort of, trial polls and mock polls that we've run for different things that will get engagement that will blow everyone out of their socks. I mean, you'll be shocked by how many people will come to and be able to say, I think that this person deserves to win this category based on, some of the nominees. And it's been a really fun kind of back and forth to figure out who the nominees are going to be, how we're going to select those things, how we're going to display that to the audience for people who weren't fans back at Fireside 1, but maybe they saw that knockout. And so I think we're in a really unique position. And again, it's an incredible honor for us. And again, also to relive some of these moments, recency bias is a hell of a thing. We just had Fireside 6, coming up on 2 weeks ago. You may not remember what Robert Trujillo did to Jules Scott on Fireside 1, right? You may not remember what before AJ was the guy, before he was the champion, you may not remember that, Vern Cathy was who everybody had their eye on. And so for us to be able to bring all of that stuff back and sort of give you a little bit of a history lesson, and enjoy that experience with you and really dig deep and help some of the fans fill in these blanks to know the history of their striker, the guy that they're looking at today. How did Austin Turpin sort of turn up on the scene, and what has he done since he came about? Ryan Phillips being able to come back and have an incredible showing after, facing incredible adversity with an injury. Those are things that we're incredibly honored and excited to be able to bring as a part of this story. And like you said, in an Oscar-like fashion, we'll be able to hear from the people themselves. They'll talk about kind of what this stuff means to them. We'll be able to engage people in a way that nobody has, certainly, but I think for us, it's a big step as well. So, we take this position very seriously, and this is something that as a team, we're really, really excited about. And we're putting everything we have into this to make sure that this event is historic, just as we would want it to be. So, of course, for anybody who's tuning in live, for anybody who's watching this later on, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for giving us a look and for paying attention and sticking with us for all this time. We hope that you stick around and, feel free to tell a friend to tell a friend. March 11th, the 1-year anniversary of Fireside 1, we'll be doing the first inaugural Power Awards presented to you exclusively by Slap News.
Yeah, absolutely. Ding. Let's talk about the voting process. How is it going to work? When is it going to get started? And when can fans have their input for their favorite fighters?
Yeah, absolutely. So voting is going to open up this coming Friday, the 23rd. We're going to essentially what we'll do is we'll send out a link and we'll have that kind of, forefront. It'll be sort of at the center stage. We'll put it on our Instagram page. We'll make sure that it's out to all the strikers as well so that they can promote their own particular nominations depending on which categories they're under. If I'm being honest, we've kept that a bit of a secret. We haven't released that information just yet. So I'm sure that some of the strikers are sort of at the edge of their seats to see where their names pop up. As Corey mentioned, we really wanted to try and encompass as many of the strikers as we could. So the way voting will work is we want to make sure that, again, in protecting the integrity of this whole entire endeavor, we want to make sure that you're not able to just run up the votes for your particular striker, whoever that is that you want. So we're gonna limit how often you can vote for a particular striker, and we'll have a unique way of doing that. I don't want to give any spoilers out because I don't want anybody to try to preemptively prepare or get around this. It's one of those unfortunate things that comes with doing this type of stuff. We just want to make sure that we're trying to keep it as fair as possible so that the fans really get to speak, and it's not a matter of how committed a particular group of fans are, but more so, how the sort of community that speaks out impartially and says we thought that this was the best candidate for that vote. And so that'll open up Friday, so you'll see a lot of that. You'll see it from us. If you don't catch it from us first, you may see it from your favorite strikers first. We'll make sure that all of that is pushed out to them as well. And you'll also at that point in time be able to see a reel of the nominations. So you'll be able to see everybody. If we're talking about a knockout of the year, we'll be able to deliver that footage for you in the nomination, if you will, so that you're not unaware of what you're actually looking at. And then, in the case that you want to really be as a fan impartial, will actually tell you what event that was from, so you can go ahead and look at that footage. If you want to say knockout of the year, doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be your favorite fighter. It needs to be your favorite knockout. And so if that means that we're showing you, a knockout from Fireside 1 that you've never seen, you probably will, we'll kind of make that easy. We'll tee it up for you so that you can go back to YouTube or Rumble and look at that knockout from, how it all came to be. So really excited to be able to do that. And again, integrity is very important to us in this whole process. So we'll take voting very seriously, and we'll make sure that there's a pretty airtight process around counting those votes.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the times, when we have our planning meetings and we sit down and we're, allocating, resources to it, we haven't put as many man hours into anything this entire year that we are into this show. You're going to see overlays, you're going to see graphics, you're going to see video footage, you're going to see us incorporate green screens into it. There's going to be a lot of cool things that we're going to really roll out to not only give, the fighters their due justice, but we're going to give everyone who's watching it the entertainment value that they come to expect. You guys can hold us to a high standard. I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to get a production that is better than anything else that we have put out. Here we're working hard, to be able to bring this all the way from the graphics and stuff that we're doing leading into it, like Ding, alluded to, getting the voting up for you guys, everything that is in part and partial with that, to be able to get voting open for you guys, to keep the integrity and for you to have everything done in an easy, convenient way. So you can make sure that you get all the knowledge, information, if you haven't seen those fights, as he said, so that you can put your vote forward for the striker that you want to have, be represented with your vote. And, it's one of the great things about this is that, there's so many great memories in the last year. Like you said, it's great to reminisce of them, and it's great to to really cherish them. Because a lot of times, as you alluded to earlier, like there can be some great moments that kind of get forgotten about throughout the entire year. We always hear the big names, the co-main event, the main event, but there's a lot of guys like you said, Robert Trujillo versus Jewel Scott, Power Slap #1, the first match that, will probably never be talked about again unless guys like, us actually talk about it. And, Robert Trujillo has been a highlight reel guy his entire life, here in Power Slap. Every match he's in, thinking about it back to, Anthony Green and the knockout of that, Dallas, Maron again, just keeps on racking up those up those KOs. But even with some more lesser known things like upsets of the year that people may not know were upsets, and or even as we talk about chin of the year, people that eat it. It's not always as glorious to be able to take a slap. It's kind of like playing defense in the football field. It's not as glorious, but it's certainly integral to be able to sneak out that victory. Because it's not all round one KOs. And always win the coin toss. So. At this point, I think it's going to be real exciting. We want to see you guys get loud as well. We want you guys to let us know. I see there's some fighters here. We got John Davis, we got Bordeaux, we got William Woods. We got a couple guys going on, some of the strikers, but anyone right now, like who do you guys, is there a moment that stands out to you guys for knockout of the year? I mean, that's going to be one of the big awards. We're going to do up custom trophies for all the guys that win. We're going to send those out to you guys. Knockout of the year. Let us know in the comments below if you guys have any knockouts of the year that you want to see nominated there. So we've got Chris Devo here as well.
Yeah, always good to have some striker love, man. And I do want to just quickly highlight while we wait for some of those comments to come through. We did fighter of the year and we did rookie of the year. The main distinction is that if you're nominated for fighter of the year, you had to have been involved in the sport at Power Slap 1, so at its inception, if you will. For those who came later, it's not a knock on you, it's not a slight, but we wanted to sort of offer a different category for that, so we called it rookie of the year. Not a major distinction, but it gave us an opportunity to really highlight the difference between what's considered an OG, even though it may seem silly because it's two events, but they were a couple months apart. And again, if you look now back at the footage from the exhibition, or tryouts, if you will, post the show and then PS1, I mean, the rules were different too. There was a lot has changed since then. The uniform, right? We used to have the blue and black with the spots on it, with the all that stuff is all gone now. You'd have the blue and white, and you'd have little spots on it. That's all like antique stuff now, right? Today it's all either blue or black. Before it used to be something different. You had trims and all this other stuff. So it's really interesting to see how that all came about. So I do want to make sure that we're clear. the distinction between fighter and rookie is sort of where you came into the sport at this point.
Yeah, no, I definitely, it's good to have the distinction. Year one, obviously, it's a little bit, just different from how it'll be going next year. Next year, it'll be very cut and dry. If you got in the sport after Power Slot number 6, then that will be your rookie year. Obviously. So, as you kind of alluded to, if you were part of Road to the Title 1, and you competed, obviously Power Slot number 1, then you're not included for Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year is going to be an interesting one because we're going to have some guys that came in early who's had multiple matches, and we're going to have some of those young guys, that were on season 2 also involved for Rookie of the Year. Some guys that may not have as much gusto, but we do know that some of those guys from Power Slap number 1, like Brandon Bordeaux, Zach Zane, guys that have put in, 2-3 matches already. We've seen them perform, so they may make the list. Hasn't been finalized yet. I don't know everyone who's going to be there for every category. It's been tough because we've started with 15 to 20 different nominees in each category. We're trying to dwindle them down to a manageable size, try to get you guys that opportunity to really represent the best of the best for the actual award show itself. Honestly, man, it's going to be a great event for everybody involved. We want to get the strikers involved. The guys that are there, they are going to get promo pieces. We're always trying to collab with you guys as well to get content for you guys too. And, it's something that you should be proud of. Like we said, oftentimes, guys get, your fight's done, your fight's over, you get 30, 60, 90 days out and, the media cycle and the next event's going. And so it's a way to, really celebrate it. And I hope people can really get behind it. I'm sure not everyone's going to agree with, the winners and the losers, and people are going to have, their points of view with it, but that's really what makes this thing fun and exciting, is getting everyone's perspective in it. But hopefully everyone can be good sports about it. And, it's something that we look forward to doing year after year. And it's going to be quite the event, my man. Yourself, Jeeves, who's working on graphics right now for us, myself, and, obviously Ray, who's behind the scenes, that doesn't get a lot of love all the time, but it's a guy that puts in a lot of work, in the hours, doing the editing, making sure we can get this stuff up for you guys. So pretty excited for that. What do you have total, Ding? 6 categories?
Yeah.
Year
6
one?
categories.
Okay.
And as you talk, I'm kind of just sort of putting all these numbers together in my head. We've had 20 weeks. It's almost 6 months worth of reality TV from just season 1 to season 2. If you ask any of the strikers, put themselves a year ago, for the guys even the guys who came in a year ago, let's just say, who were still on road to the title, I'm certain that they wouldn't say that they thought that we'd be where we are today. Like you said, the money's changed. We've heard the figures as far as how much this valuation this thing is. They did a live event in front of an audience that was paid. It had a gate, all the celebrities, all the pizzazz. The way that this has all gone, the social media numbers, people are getting thousands of followers, after an event. It's been incredible. In some ways, a lot of these people have become influencers, right? The Crazy Hawaiian amasses something like 35,000 followers on Instagram. Now is getting, brand deals where he's able to sort of be a partner in some of these endeavors and promoting these different things. And the same is true for other fighters. We've seen, I believe John Davis had a collaborate. It's incredible to see that all of that started just a year ago, right? For some guys, obviously, there were people on the tryouts, and then the people who are on Road to the Title season 1, of course, it started a little bit more than that for you. But the first time that you were really put in front of when the show aired, it was about a year ago. I think it started in late January, if I remember correctly, middle January. So we're probably a month late, if you will. But we wanted to put this event strategically on the 1-year anniversary of Power Slap 1 for that distinct reason, to make sure that we're able to, one, call back to the event that started this whole thing, and then 2, just be able to really remind people that, you may have joined in at 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, whatever event, but there's a lot of stuff that took place before that and really got us to where we are today. So I'm really excited, man, about these categories. And like Corey said, we really have spitballed a lot internally to try and narrow these numbers down, because there's so many great moments. There's so many great athletes. There's been incredible rises. And so we wanted to make sure that we're kind of picking the creme de la creme, if you will. So,
Mhm.
we haven't taken that lightly at all. Trust us, and that's the reason why we're not really prepared today to say definitively who the nominees are. But we'll get that out to you Friday as soon as voting opens.
Yeah, so it's 2 days away for everyone who's looking forward to that. It'll be out on Friday. Follow all the socials, Instagram, Twitter. I think we're still on X, Facebook. We'll have all that across the board. I'm sure we can find somewhere here on YouTube as well to make sure that we get that voting in. Looking forward. Appreciate everybody who's given us a view, who's given us a follow, who's subscribed to us. It's been a long journey for us as well. We've been grinding away. We appreciate all the love and support that we get. We appreciate you guys being here for us. And we're here for the long term. We keep on doing things that others aren't doing in the sport. We're one of the OGs in the media game, and we're one of the last ones still standing here, pushing through, continuing to put out original content every single week. So we appreciate you all. We love you all. Look forward to keep on going along this journey with you guys and celebrate the love for slap fighting and everything that the sport is becoming. I think, my man, you good?
Yeah, man. Like you said, just one of the things I'd ask is just that we've seen an outpouring of support, particularly for this event as we announced it. Don't take your foot off the gas. Keep sharing this thing, because come Friday, I want our voting platform to crash because of how many people are so eager to try and represent the interest of their striker. Now, when they crash, Corey's gonna reach out and be like, "Dude, like, what the hell?" But I want that for me personally. I want you guys to overstimulate our voting system, so that we're able to definitively say that whoever comes out the winner of this thing, it was hard fought. Even though you're not up there striking, we're still gonna work our tails off to make sure that we're able to bring the fight to you every time we come up here.
Yeah. Awesome, my man. We'll be in touch soon. We know the planning is just getting started, even though we've been working on this now, tens, if not hundreds of hours already put into it. We've got a long way to go. Looking forward to this journey. Once again, we're a sucker for punishment, but we want to keep on representing the sport that only way Slap News can. Take care, my man.